morning. It's time to start a new week of math. So let's go ahead and get our pages out today. And we're going to have a new story with Charlie and Charlotte. Now, in their year, they're a little bit behind from what we are. They're going to just now start celebrating Thanksgiving. And we're already at the end of January. So they're way back in November. So they're going to be talking about things that we've already celebrated. But that's okay because we'll be celebrating it here in the next 10 months or so. All right, so let's look at page 111. Do you see Charlie and Charlotte down there dressed up like pilgrims? They're holding a turkey. Let's read what happens in lesson 12. Home from the hospital with Ella a couple of days later, Charlie and Charlotte and their parents and grandparents busily began preparing for Thanksgiving. Grandpa had explained to the twins that the first Thanksgiving had taken place in 1621 in Plymouth, in New England. Seeking religious freedom, the Pilgrims were a group of people who had come to the United States in 1620. The first winter had been incredibly tough for the Pilgrims, and many of them died. In the spring, an Indian named Squanto and some of his Indian friends showed the Pilgrims how to grow corn, beans, squash, and pumpkins. Together in the fall of 1621, the Pilgrims invited over 90 Indians to a feast to give thanks. Later, Grandpa explained that President Abraham Lincoln had officially named the fourth Thursday of November as Thanksgiving Day. Looking forward to Thursday with much anticipation, Charlie and Charlotte were busily making colorful name cards for each place at the table. They were so excited that Grandpa and Grandma were able to stay and join them for Thanksgiving. In fact, Grandpa had promised them that later on they would do a special project with him in the garage. Finishing up the place cards, the twins cleaned up their mess and trotted off to find Grandpa. Grandpa was deep in concentration when they found him in the garage at the workbench, looking at a pile of various sized boards. "Hi, children," Grandpa said with a twinkle in his eyes. "Hi, Grandpa," the children replied in unison. "What are we going to make?" "Well," Grandpa answered, "we need something to feed the birds all winter long. Since you've been feeding them this fall, they rely on you to continue through the winter. Either we need to stop feeding them so they can fly south now, or we need to make a feeder for them so they'll have enough food for the winter and then they won't die from lack of food." "Oh, we don't want our pretty birds dying," Charlie exclaimed. "We are making a bird feeder, right, Grandpa?" "Yes, Charlie, we sure are." Grandpa chuckled, wondering once again at the children's enthusiasm. Grandpa and the twins spent the rest of the afternoon working on cutting out the pieces for 2 bird feeders. Grandpa explained to the children how important it was to measure every piece correctly before cutting it out with the saw. Charlie and Charlotte were so tickled to help Grandpa out and keep the beautiful birds safe throughout the approaching winter months. Okay, so let's start looking at some more measuring. Can you look at this page for me, page 113? Now, we're going to learn a new word today. Okay, it's a word you may not have learned before. It's this word right here. Perimeter. Can you say that word? Perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around a polygon. A polygon is just a shape made with straight sides. Poly is a prefix that means many. So a polygon is a shape with many straight sides. To figure out the perimeter of a rectangle, you just need to add up each side, like this. Okay, you see this rectangle? Okay, they say this is 4 inches. It's not really 4 inches, they just put that it is. And this is 2 inches, and this is 4 inches, and this is 2 inches. So to find the perimeter, you add the short sides together. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Then you're going to add the longer sides together. 4 plus 4 equals 8. So these two equal 4, and the long ones equal 8. Then you add all those totals together. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So the perimeter of the rectangle is 12 inches. So if you add all these up, you get 12. Because 4 plus 4 is 8, and 2 plus 2 is 4, and 8 plus 4 is 12. And that's how you figure perimeter. Let's look at this page. Okay, now this is a square. Do you notice this? Because all the sides are the same. This is 4, this is 4, this is 4, and this is 4. Now, for a square, you just add two sides together and then add the other two sides together. And you take all those numbers and add them together. So 4 plus 4 is 8. The other two sides are 4 plus 4, which is 8. Then you add these together. 8 plus 8 is 16. So the perimeter of this square is 16 inches. So put 16 there. Because if you add 4 and 4, you get 8. And another 4 and another 4, you get another 8. Well, 8 plus 8 is 16. Let's look at this page. Okay, here's a triangle. To figure out the perimeter of a triangle, you add two sides together. Now add that number to the other side, and you'll find the perimeter. By the way, some triangles have equal sides, but other triangles have unequal sides. So this one has 2 inches on this side, 2 inches on this side, and 2 on this side. So this triangle is the same on all sides, isn't it? So you're just going to add 2 and 2, which gives you 4. And then you're going to take that 4 and add the other 2. And that gives you 6. So the perimeter of this triangle is 6 inches. Does that make sense? When you do perimeter, you just add all the sides up. Good job. All right, so this page right here is a review page for you to work on. These are nickels. Remember, when you count nickels, you count by 5s. So I want you to count the nickels and write how much money that is. And then the dimes, you count by 10s. So I want you to count these by 10s and put the answer there, okay? All right, that's all for today.